Hello everybody, it's Tim here again, here with another Children of the Corn review. It took me a while, but I'm here to bounce back with Children of the Corn 4, The Gathering, starring a then unknown Naomi Watts. Naomi Watts is an actress who I'm kind of like off and on. I don't think she's like great, but I think she's a serviceable actress, good at best. Here she's okay. She's good enough in the lead. She's okay. Um, you got Karen Black in here, who horror fans will know from the Trilogy of Terror movie, and House of Thousand Corpses. She actually died, I think, last year, which is pretty sad, but she's in here as well. Now, this film, as anyone who's a horror fan knows, has no connection whatsoever to the other Children of the Corn movies. This is a standalone movie. It's not even in the same universe as the other Children of the Corn movies, so this movie has to be judged on its own. It has nothing, I repeat, nothing to do with the other Children of the Corn movies. Now, as a film on its own, this is, in my opinion, a 3-star film. I judge my movies from 1 to 4 stars. This is a 3-star film, meaning it's a good film. This is a good mystery thriller ghost film. The boy preacher in this hardly even preaches except for maybe like 2 scenes. He's mostly just like a slasher villain like Freddy or Jason. He has like a corn sickle he just packs around with him, and he like screws everybody up with it all the time, hacks the shit out of them with it. Get a cool kill scene in here. This boy is also a ghost, so it's more like a ghost like thriller movie than it is like any of the other Children of the Corn movies. But the suspense style of the movie goes back more to the way the first film was, with how suspenseful it was. Except picture it like that through the whole movie, whereas the first one got to the point of getting towards the action towards halfway through the movie. This movie's like pretty much suspense like all the way through. This has more in common with like a slasher movie version of The Sixth Sense, really, than it does Children of the Corn. But the kid's pretty much like a slasher villain. His name is like Josiah in the movie. There's a cool kill scene in the movie where like this blood spills on the hospital floor, and his hand actually like comes up through the blood with the corn sickle, and he throws it. He like hits this chick in the back of the head and comes out her forehead. A really cool death scene. There's another one that's a little hokey where this dude like gets cut in half by like this hospital gurney or whatever's coming towards him, and a blade comes out the front of it and cuts the dude in half. It's kind of like a wacky B-movie kill, but the effect of the dude falling in half or whatever after he's cut in half is kind of cool. The beginning of this movie I thought was a little boring. But once it picks up with all the cool like Nightmare on Elm Street dream sequences, I thought I had fun with it. This movie's not very scary, but it is really creepy. It has a cool like creepy atmosphere to it. It does start to drag towards the middle, where I'm like, come on, move on here. But it picked up fairly nice. Naomi Watts is like this chick who's like a nurse or whatever, I believe, at the hospital, and all these kids in town start getting this fever, and it's all from this ghost boy preacher or whatever who's wanting to use the kids to like resurrect him by them cutting themselves or whatever, and he's going to use their blood to like make a portal to come to the living world, and he's going to take a child that's similar to him because when he was alive he was like a boy preacher who these other older preachers made a lot of money off of, so they wanted to keep making money off of him, so they would poison him with mercury to make him stay younger, have a more youthful look, so they could keep making money off of him. But but eventually he went crazy and took revenge on them and killed them all, and then the townspeople like killed him for that, which is kind of weird to me. Like, why would you kill like somebody because he took revenge for people torturing him or whatever? I mean, that's kind of odd. Why not just take the kid to jail? But whatever. So you got that. It's kind of similar to the Freddy Krueger origin in a way, except Freddy Krueger was evil, and this kid, I mean, getting revenge on people who have been poisoning you and abusing you is not is not as bad to me. But anyway, so he was killed by the townspeople because he killed the preachers, and all through the movie you get like these the Karen Black has like these nightmare scenes that are kind of creative, but after a while they get kind of boring because it gets like the same old crap over and over. It's like dream within a dream within a dream, so it gets annoying. But the problem with is, even though they're creative, after a while you realize they have no connection to the film whatsoever. There's no reason he should be targeting this woman and bothering her like this. There's no reason. That could have been fixed easy by making her like the kid's mom or something, because in the movie you find out like his mom had abandoned him when he was a kid, and that's how like the traveling preachers found him and started making money off of him as a boy preacher. But it would have made more sense if she was like his mom and he was like haunting her because of it or whatever. That would have made more sense in the movie, but they don't do that, so it just kind of seems random and has no connection to the rest of the plot whatsoever, really. Also, another thing is you find out Naomi Watts is like the mom of the child of the mom of the little girl You think Karen Black is her mom, but you find out later that Naomi Watts is, and so she's kind of like a forgotten child by her mom, who's Naomi Watts. And so the boy preacher needs to like switch places with her. Basically, he needs to take a similar child who is forgotten about like him because he was forgotten about by his mom, and he needs to switch places with that child on Earth and send that kid to the afterlife. So he wants to do that. But another what I was getting to is that you find out she's Naomi Watts' daughter, and that but there's also another boy, a little boy, who's living with Karen Black as well, and she's also supposed to be Karen Black's kid, but he still seems too young as well to be Karen Black's kid, and it never explains is he Naomi Watts' kid as well, like the daughter is, who Naomi Watts is pretending is Karen Black's child is. I mean, Naomi Watts has dumped her kid off, the little girl, to be took care of by Karen Black, and Karen Black is Naomi Watts' mom. Okay, but Karen Black also has another kid she's watching, who is the brother of the little girl. And it never explains is he Karen Black's kid or is he Naomi Watts' kid. And since it never goes into it, it makes the character feel useless. Like there's no point in him being here, and there really isn't. He serves no purpose in the story. One thing leads to another, so you get to the end of the movie, and Naomi Watts wants to go, fuck this dude up so she can get her daughter back. She's taking responsibility for her child that she's had. So she goes there, she takes some shotgun shells and spikes them with mercury, because mercury was what he was poisoned with when he was alive, so it's a weakness for him, now that he's a ghost or whatever. So she comes there, she wants to shotgun his ass, and, decent little scene where she's, like, shotgunning his ass, like, when she's blowing him down with mercury bullets. He kind of goes down a little bit too easy though. Like when he gets shot, he just falls over. I mean, this ghost kid really can't handle a lot of damage when it comes to mercury. She kills him she's like spiked like the water filtration or whatever with mercury, and so she sets it off and hoses him down with a bunch of mercury mixed in with water, and it melts him to pieces, and then she knocks him over into a tank of water. He dies way too easy. This actual battle scene with him and Naomi Watts is kind of cool, but he just gets destroyed way too easy. And then once he's defeated, the little girl comes back, and so Naomi Watts is reunited with her daughter, and I guess her son, whoever the hell the little boy is. I have no idea. The movie never explains it. I guess we're just supposed to assume he's her son. But anyway, so she's reunited with her kid. She's at her mom's like grave or whatever, and then she's getting ready to leave. And one thing I like about this movie is that at the end of it, there's like this little grasshopper, because all through the movie, every time like the demonic ghost kid would show up, there'd be like these warning signs of these like plague like grasshoppers or whatever. And one of them showed up, and the kid who is kind of useless in the story, who's like Naomi Watts' other child, he looks at the grasshopper and he like smacks the shit out of it and kills it. So it's like a non-sequel bait ending. This movie is an open and closed story. No sequel. There's nothing else. This movie this movie begins, has a middle, and has an end. This is an open and closed one-off story, and that's what I like about it. No continuation whatsoever. This is a one-off movie, and for a one-off movie that has nothing to do with the rest of them, I give it some bitch 3 stars. It's good. It's not great. People who really like the Children of the Corn franchise might hate this movie just because they're watching it, be like, I should do a Children of the Corn. But if you watch it knowing what it is, it's like in a Nightmare on Elm Street mystery ghost thriller type movie, but with a slasher edge to it. If you watch it as that, then I think you'll get some enjoyment out of it. It's a good movie for what it is. It's not great or anything mind blowing. I think it's better directed and put together. I think it's better put together than Part 3, but I had more fun with Part 3 because Part 3 had those like schlocky horror movie moments, like over the top horror movie kills and shit. Schlocky horror movie moments to it that I liked. This movie has a more straight edged vibe to it with a less like straight horror movie-ish like tone to it. Plays it more, like I said, it's more like a ghost film, really, like a ghost slasher. So for that, it's good. Better than I expected to be. I would say after the first, this is the best film in the series after Part 1, if not on the same level as Part 1, really, because I would say that this movie is actually better put together than the first movie, almost, besides the fact that it drags a little, and maybe one or two of the kills are a little bit schlocky. I think the first movie had better villains, though. The villain here is just a slasher guy that hardly speaks. First movie had better villains, so I'd say all in all, first one, because of the villains, is slightly like a bit stronger as a maybe as a whole than this one, and it has a better ending to me than this one does. But I feel this film is like pretty much just as good directed almost. But this is easily the second best film in the series thus far that I've seen, even though it has nothing to do with the series. If you just want like Children of the Corn action, I would say stick with 1 and 3, and if you want a little bit more, I'd say watch 2. 1, 2, and 3 seem to flow together pretty well. If you watch 1, 2, and 3, I'd say after that you can pretty much just stop, really. Part 4 here though it's a good standalone. If you just want to watch something different, it's good. Haven't seen 5 and 6 yet, or 7. The remake blows, so on that. But yes, well actually, I mean, I haven't watched them yet for the reviews, but I have seen them before. And as far as I remember, well, I'll get into them when I get to the reviews. But as far as it is right now, I'd say stick with 1 and 3 if you just want the Children of the Corn story. If you want a little bit more, I'd say throw in 2. And if you just want, if all you want is the Children of the Corn story, then just stick with 1 and 3. If you, like I said, if you want a little bit more, go with 2. But if all you want is the Children of the Corn theme story, then don't bother with this one. But if you're open to trying like something different in the franchise, then this will work. But be warned, it is its own movie. This has nothing to do with the other films or any after it whatsoever. So I'll see you guys again with the next Children of the Corn.